Hello, beautiful boys and girls, and welcome to Storytime with Avant-garde Books. I'm Sherry Hardy, and I hope you and your family are well. Today, I will be reading Just as Good: How Larry Doby Changed America's Game. This book was written by Chris Crowe and illustrated by Mike Benny. Well, you know what to do if you have a copy, but if you don't, it's quite okay. Just make sure you're in a very comfortable place and you're relaxed so you can listen to Just as Good: How Larry Doby Changed America's Game. Daddy and I love the Cleveland Indians, and when Larry Doby joined them last season, we both hoped that 1947 would be a year to remember. A Negro on our team, Daddy shouted when he read the news, first one in the American League. It's a miracle, I said. I've been aching for a miracle ever since Coach O'Brien banned me from his Little League baseball team. Look around, Homer, he said. You see any Negroes playing in the major leagues? Jackie Robinson, he's already a star for Brooklyn. That boy's a fluke, Coach laughed. Ain't no other Negro player worth a spit. Right then, I wanted one of our own here in Cleveland, playing for my Indians. That'll prove that Jackie's for real, and it'll show that our people are just as good in baseball or anything else as whites are. Of course, I knew it was a crazy dream until Larry Doby showed up. Saturday, October 9th, 1948. I get up early for my paper route, and Cleveland buzzes with excitement over the World Series. Some people are already on street corners scalping tickets for the big game. Others see my Cleveland Indians cap and call out, How about those Indians? I'm hoping to get home soon and finish my chores so I can go down to Standard Drug and listen to the game. If I don't get there early enough, I'll have to stand outside, and that'll be no good at all. I get home just after 1 o'clock, and Mama's in the kitchen shaking her head. New radios don't come free, she's telling Daddy, and we got bills to be paying. Daddy just smiles and keeps working on the brand new radio. I can't believe it. We got a radio? Won't be as good as being in Cleveland Stadium, Daddy says, but it sure beats standing in a drugstore. You too, Mama chuckles as she leaves the kitchen. You are baseball crazy. Daddy's grinning like a birthday boy. You ready for this, Homer? I nod and pull my cap low. Daddy turns that radio on. The dial glows, and in a few seconds, music floats out. Daddy starts turning that dial like a safecracker. News, crackly static, big band music. Then I hear, Good afternoon, baseball fans everywhere, and my heart thumps. That's him, Daddy. Mel Allen. Mel Allen. He's been calling all the World Series games. Daddy turns up the radio, and we sit down to listen to the starting lineup. We cheer when we hear that Larry's starting in center field, but Daddy's worried about the pitcher. Steve Gromack, he says. He'll need help beating the Braves. Good thing he's got our man, Larry Doby, I say. Our man is the man, Daddy gives me a thumbs up. Boston bats first, and I'm so jittery I can hardly listen. But Gromack gets out of the inning without giving up a run. Daddy slaps me on the back. Here we go now. Yay, Indians, I shout. When the Indians come up to bat, our leadoff batter, left fielder Dale Mitchell, rips a single and our cheers drown out the radio. Then we hear Mel Allen say, That brings to the plate Larry Doby, currently the leading hitter in the series. I'm shaking as if I'm standing at the plate in Cleveland Stadium myself. Come on, Larry, I whisper. Larry smashes a line drive, and Mel Allen has to shout over the noise of the crowd. Doby's vicious grounder is knocked down and he's out at first. I slump into my chair, but I'm up again when I hear Lou Boudreau, Cleveland's shortstop, drives in a run. Way to go, I shout. That's our Indians. Daddy's yell. Mama sticks her head in the door. Good news? Mom, I say, we're already ahead, 1-0. She sits down and puts an arm across my shoulders. That I'm staying put. Don't want to be missing history. Nobody scores in the next inning, and Daddy and I start pacing the kitchen. We need another run, he says. Just one more, 'cause there's no way Gromack can keep the Braves from scoring. In the third inning, Larry Doby comes to bat, and Daddy reaches over and squeezes my hand. He's gonna do it, he says. I can just feel it. He'll do it, I tell Daddy. He's just gotta do it. Larry swings and misses the first pitch. I close my eyes while Mel Allen describes the next pitch. I hear the sharp crack of the bat and the roar of the crowd and Mel Allen's voice getting louder and louder. It's high and deep to the right center field. The ball is going, it's gone! The cheers drown out Mel Allen. Larry Doby just teed off with the first home run of the 1948 World Series, and the Indians lead 2-0. Daddy and Mama and I are dancing in the kitchen, whooping and hollering until our voices go hoarse. Then Daddy pulls Mama into his arms. Our man is a World Series hero, he says. Mama sits back down to listen while Daddy and I start pacing the kitchen again. In the seventh inning, Boston's left fielder, Marv Rickert, hammers a home run to make the score 2-1. And for the rest of the game, Daddy and I are up and down with every out, pleading with the Indians to hang on to their one-run lead. Gromack finally gets the last out of the game, and Daddy hugs Mama, then picks me up and twirls me around the kitchen. We are on our way, he says. Change is a-coming. Homer! When he sets me down, I see tears in his eyes. The next morning, Daddy comes outside to help me fold my newspapers, but what he really wants to do is read about our new hero. He pulls a paper off the stack and turns right to the sports section. Smack in the middle of the page is a photograph of Larry Doby and Steve Gromack celebrating yesterday's win. Both have smiles as wide as Lake Erie, and they're cheek to cheek, a white face next to a black one, hugging each other like brothers. Look at that, Daddy says. Will you just look at that? Change ain't a-comin', Homer. It's already here. Wow, that, boys and girls, that was a wonderful story. Now here's a historical note that the author gives that I'm going to read. When Larry Doby was born in South Carolina in 1923, racist Jim Crow laws existed in many states. In much of the nation, it was illegal for African Americans to use white-only bathrooms, to attend white-only schools, or to eat in white-only restaurants. It shall be unlawful to conduct a restaurant or other place for the serving of food in the city at which white and colored people are served in the same room. In some places, Jim Crow laws even applied to baseball. It shall be unlawful for any amateur white baseball team to play baseball on any vacant lot or baseball diamond within 2 blocks of a playground devoted to a Negro race, and it shall be unlawful for any amateur colored baseball team to play baseball in any vacant lot or baseball diamond within 2 blocks of any playground devoted to the white race. Professional baseball was also affected by Jim Crow. Owners of Major League Baseball teams conspired to keep the league all white by refusing to add African Americans to their team rosters. On April 15, 1947, Jackie Robinson, a star from the Negro Leagues, broke baseball's color barrier when he joined the Brooklyn Dodgers of the National League and became the first African American to play in the modern major leagues. Just 11 weeks later, Larry Doby signed with the Cleveland Indians and became the first black player in the American League. All season long, both men received abuse from racist players, coaches, and fans. The things I was called did hurt me. They hurt a lot. The things people did to me, spitting tobacco juice on me, sliding into me, throwing baseballs at my head. The words they call me, they do hurt. Larry Doby. Many baseball team owners and fans considered Jackie Robinson a fluke. In order to keep teams all white, they claimed that Robinson, the 1947 Rookie of the Year, was a rare exception, that no other African American players were good enough for the major leagues. Doby's disappointing rookie season reinforced those racist claims. But 1948 would be different. Doby's 16 home runs and a .301 batting average helped the Cleveland Indians win their first World Series since 1920. More important, by proving that Robinson was no fluke, Larry Doby, number 14, paved the way for dozens of other African Americans to join him and Jackie Robinson in the major leagues. In the locker room celebration after Game 4 of the 1948 World Series, Steve Romack, Cleveland's winning pitcher, hugged Doby right in front of a newspaper photographer. The cameras caught their two joyful faces, one white, one black, cheek to cheek, and the photograph appeared in newspapers all over America. The picture of a white man hugging a black man angered many people, but for others it signaled that change was coming. If white baseball players could accept African Americans as equals, perhaps the rest of the country could too. That hug by Gromick made me feel good, because it was not a thing of should I or should I not a thing of black and white. It was a thing where human beings were showing emotion. Larry Doby. The photograph and Larry Doby's success helped to tumble the barriers that had prevented African Americans from playing in the major leagues. The integration of professional baseball by Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby, and the African American players who followed them laid the foundation for the civil rights movement, which eventually eliminated Jim Crow laws from American society. Integration in baseball started public integration on trains, in Pullmans, in dining cars, in restaurants in the South, long before the issue of public accommodation became news. Branch Rickey, president of the Brooklyn Dodgers. One of the first African American players to benefit from Doby's success was Satchel Paige, the Negro League's most famous pitcher. Satchel became Doby's teammate on the July 9, 1948, and finished the regular season with a 6-1 record. He faced two batters in the seventh inning of the Game 5 of the 1948 World Series, becoming the first African American pitcher to play in a World Series game. The Indians lost that game 11-5, but went on to beat the Boston Braves in Game 6 to win the 1948 World Series 4-2. Wow, boys and girls, that was a little history there. And the book again is called Just As Good: How Larry Doby Changed America's Game. The book was written by Chris Crowe and illustrated by Mike Benny. I hope you learned some history and enjoyed this story, boys and girls. Have a beautiful day.